Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Tsukihime, A Piece of Glass Moon, the Tsukihime remake. Now, you all might be wondering, how in the hell are you already doing a playthrough of this game in English, quote unquote? Well, that's because there is supposedly already a workaround for being able to play this game in English, although it is not perfect. Somebody in the comments did link me to this video that shows how you can play this game on what is essentially a Switch emulator, or at least a kind of an early version of a Switch emulator in English. Now, like I said, this solution is not perfect. Hollow Moon did say they are going to be doing a translation of this, but right now this is the only solution for, I guess, playing this game in English. Now, what I did was I got this Switch emulator and I got this the Switch file for this game, and I tried to play it at first and things didn't work out so well. The graphics were it was a little bit glitchy. I couldn't see anything. The graphics weren't working right, and I thought it was due to the Switch emulator, but apparently it was because I didn't patch the game. So I had to do that, and then I had to get a program known as Agent in order to load the script file for this game. And then I also had to get another program that will actually, as you can see in the box over there, that will translate the Japanese text. It's a lot of hoops you got to jump through in order to get it to work, but as long as it's working, I'm fine. And as you might notice, yeah, there is an opening scene that plays before this menu pops up, but I wasn't able to get this working right when that was playing. So since I've already played that scene, I don't know if I can really play it again without, I guess, reinstalling everything. So yeah, unfortunately, we kind of skipped that scene, but it's not a really important scene. It was basically more or less, I think, the same opening from the original game where, about Shiki being in the woods and there being dead people and all that. But yeah, so hopefully this works out, guys. I hope it does. We might have some hiccups along the way, considering this is, like I said, an early version of a Switch emulator, so there's bound to be issues, as well as issues with the translation itself, probably. So who knows what's going to happen? I don't even know if this is a full working translation. I only know that I've seen video of it working, and I've tested this out, and it does work. It does translate the text, so let's just cross our fingers and hope that we won't run into any huge issues here. But yes, this is Tsukihime, A Piece of Glass Moon. I'm also hoping that Type Moon doesn't go after my channel for this. Hopefully not. I'm not sure if there's people already uploading gameplay, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, guys. I know everybody's been really wanting to see me do a playthrough of this. And yeah, here it is. Hopefully this will work out, like I said. But, without any more introduction, let's go ahead and get started. New game. When I came to, I found myself in a hospital bed. The curtains wavered. A chilly breeze flowed in through the open window. I couldn't help but squint my eyes at the unrestrained colors. I don't know where I am. I don't know when now is. What is going on? I'm having a little trouble keeping up. When I strained my hands to get up, my body jumped before my hands. Hold your breath and cluck your mouth like a fish. I guess this is what you call fire coming out of your eyes. As soon as I put my hand on the hard bed, a ripping pain went through my body. I took a deep breath and lay back to observe my body. His hands were wrapped in bandages. Her left foot is also wrapped in white plaster. His forehead was very tight, so he probably had a bandage on his head as well. A large, thick adhesive bandage was placed on his chest to hide anything inconvenient. Like I said, guys, this translation might not be perfect because I feel like maybe they got the translation wrong for one of those because it said her, and I think it was still supposed to be referring to Shiki. There's a single tube stuck in his left arm. I have somehow accepted that it is an IV drip. I guess it was because I was dreamily looking around before I woke up. The room was darker than this one, and it was full of chemicals. And the several tubes that had grown from the bandage on his chest. And the scary man in the suit who came to visit her. Maybe he is talking about somebody else. I'm not too sure. It's a little bit ambiguous. I mean, I do know what the scene is. If you guys remember, this is literally the prologue from the original game. And the sight of my sister who came to me, scolded by that man. Okay, so she's talking about Akiha, I guess. And the way the doctor was frolicking like a little boy. That just kind of... the doctor frolicking. That just kind of seems silly. Like, I don't know if that's, like, again, I don't know if that's, like, 100% accurate. But I'm just picturing that. I remember everything as if it were a dream. What? Maybe you're not awake. I heard an unfamiliar girl's voice. I don't have the strength to respond. The girl panicked and ran out of the room to call a doctor. Okay, that might have been a nurse being like, oh, you're awake? How are you awake right now? Or something like that. Flap, flap, flap. I know you're in a hurry, but you shouldn't run in the hospital. I couldn't raise my body, so I turned my head to look up at the window. The core of my eyeballs whispered. It felt like my brain was being stirred with a blade. The sky is so blue it's almost a lie. The blue color without a single stain was so cruel that it hurt my eyes more than the white sunlight. Then a few days later. For a while, after I woke up, I couldn't move from my bed. I looked up at the sky, which was still as high as ever. The curtains fluttered and swayed. A dry breeze on my cheek. The blue color, without any stain, makes my eyes dizzy. I don't know where I am. I don't know when I am. I don't know why you're in the hospital. I'm starting to remember, little by little. But one thing. I kept staring out the window, feeling like I was forgetting something important, a promise that made me cry. Nice to meet you, Totoshiki. Congratulations on your recovery. The uncle, whom I had never seen before, said so and asked me to shake his hand. Her smile is very kind, her tone is gentle, and she gives the impression of a well-built woman. She must be someone who can switch between a smile and a straight face with the flick of a switch. The clean and lean white clothes were also perfect for this old man. Shiki, do you understand what the doctor is saying? No. Why am I in the hospital? You don't remember, do you? You were walking down the street when you were involved in a car accident. I had a shard of glass lodged in my chest, and it wasn't a very life-saving wound. Okay, I guess what he's trying to say there is that it was a fatal wound, and there was a shard of glass lodged in his chest. But of course, the way he said it, this doesn't make any sense. It wasn't a very life-saving wound. Well, I wouldn't think so. The white man smiled, but said something that didn't sound like a doctor. It wasn't a very survivable wound. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what he meant. At the expression, the nausea I'd been holding in overflowed. I'm sleepy. Can I go to sleep? Oh, do that. You need to take it easy now and let your body rest. The doctor kept smiling. To be frank, it's very hard to watch. Sir, can I ask you something? What is it, Shiki? Why do you have graffiti all over your body? The room is also full of cracks, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. The doctor's smile faltered for just a moment, but he quickly returned to his smiling face and stood up from his chair. He checked the floor and disappeared behind the curtain. There's still something wrong with my brain. I'm guessing he's trying to say there might be some mental damage with Shiki. Contact Dr. Ashiki at the neurology department. Also, I suspect damage to the optic nerve. Send him for an eye exam this afternoon. The doctor spoke secretly to the nurse in a cold voice, like a different person. It's weird. They all have lines on their bodies. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like lines. I don't know why it translates to postcards. That's kind of ridiculous. The messy lines were stuck all over the hospital. I'm not sure what it means, but it's very uncomfortable to look at. I wonder what is here. There's also a camel on the bed. Okay, that's got to be something else. I can't imagine that's supposed to be camel. I touched it with my finger. When I touched it with my fingers, it was so soft. Oh. A thinner one would have sunk deeper. Maybe he meant like a depression on the bed? I'm not sure. I traced the graffiti with a plastic knife I found on the shelf. I didn't put any effort into it at all, but the knife sank into the camel back up to the base. Or maybe that means something else. I have no idea. I was amused, so I slid the knife into the bed, just as I had written. Gaton! With a heavy thud, the bed was ripped clean apart. Kya! I turned around at the sound of a voice from behind me. There was a nurse standing at the door with a grimace on her face. So he killed the bed, destroyed it. How did you break the bed, Shiki? The doctor didn't ask why I broke the bed. He insisted on telling me how. I traced the line and it cut me. Hey, why is this hospital full of cracks? Come on, Shiki, there's no such line. So, how did you break the bed? I'm not mad at you, just tell me. I just traced the lines. Okay, let's talk about this tomorrow. Sighs the doctor. Ugh. Since I told him about the Rakugaki, I haven't had that kind smile. I guess he's trying to say since he told the doctor about the weird lines, the doctor hasn't smiled at him again or something. It must have been a faulty switch. They say this hospital is full of fragile things. In the end, no one believed my story. When I cut that scribble with a knife, whatever it was, it cut cleanly. I don't need muscle power. It was easy to cut, like cutting paper with scissors. And the bed, the chair, the desk, the walls, the floor. I've never tried, but I'm sure it will work for you too. The raccoon doesn't seem to be able to see everyone. A line that only you can see. I don't know why it says it that way, but I'm guessing he's trying to say nobody else with him can see the lines. I'm sure it's just a patchwork. After stitching up the wound. Like my breast, I think it's a mark that has yet to heal even after the surgery. A mark that dissipates into tatters with just a touch. Because otherwise, there's no way a child could cut the wall with his own strength. And then everything falls apart like paper mache. The nurse is shouting again. He glared at me, looking at the wall cut out in unevenness. The Kanakiri voice stretches. My ears are going crazy, so I don't find it too loud. The sound that never stops like a cicada on fire, and it makes me uneasy. Everything was in shambles. Just opening my eyes, just being alive, is horrifying enough to make me want to disappear. Oh, I didn't know that before. The world is so full of jagged edges. I didn't know it was so fragile. People can't see it. That's why he's fine. They don't even notice this abnormal world. I don't even know this scarred routine. But I can see it. I was too scared to walk. Only the wound in my chest echoed like a siren. But I wonder if that means when. I try to remember, but I can't. I scratched my head, but couldn't get it out. I must have thrown it away because it was unimportant. It's like a faucet that spills water no matter how hard you turn it on. Oh, I see. That would explain everything. It's no wonder there are no mirrors. If there were, I would have done it first. I'm sure he's laughing and cracking up. I mean, I'm not talking about the stuff around you that's gonna break. It seems I'm the only one with the malfunction. That's probably why. It's been 2 weeks since then, and no one believes me. It's been 2 weeks since then, and no one has come to see me. It's been 2 weeks since then, and I'm still living alone in a world full of jagged edges. I don't want to be in a hospital room. I don't want to be in a place full of brats. I decided to get out of here and go someplace far away where no one would ever find me. I'm not the one who's crazy. I jumped out of my seat, telling myself that there was something wrong with this place. But the wound on my chest was so painful that I could only run a little. If you notice, there was a field next to the hospital. I couldn't get very far. Ugh. Gosh. My chest hurt and I felt so sad that I crouched down on the ground and coughed. Maybe he was trying to say I felt so bad. I can't go anywhere, and I shouldn't. A person who can see the Tsukihime must not be allowed to be anywhere. I guess he means the lines. I think that's supposed to be like panting. No one is here. In the end of summer, in a sea of grass. I felt like I was going to disappear. But first... Hey kiddo, don't squat like that. Hey, it's our favorite heroine, Aozaki Aoko. There was a woman's voice that reached my ears clearly. It's our favorite Soon. Yeah? No, you're not. You're so small you can't even see me when you're huddled up in the grass. Be careful, you almost got kicked off. The woman pointed at me wryly. I'm a little pissed off about... I'm fourth from the front in my class, so I guess I'm not that short. Kicked out by who? Nonsense, it's obvious. It's just me and you here, so who else is there but me? The woman crossed her arms and said so confidently. I'm Aoko Aozaki, and I'd like to talk to you. My name is Aoko Aozaki. What's yours? The woman reached out her hand to me as casually as if we were friends. I didn't see any reason to refuse, so I told her my name was Tonoshiki and grabbed her hand back as if I were being sucked in. I had a great time chatting with the woman. She doesn't ignore what I say because I'm a child. She listened to me as a human being. We talked about many things. About my family. It's an old family with a long history, and my father is a strict man who is very particular about etiquette. I had a younger sister named Akiha who was very quiet and always followed me around. Because it was a large mansion, I always played with Akiha and her friends in the forest-like garden. The attic was a secret place. I was no longer good at Shiratori. He was still expected to grow taller. The smell of the hospital, which I used to like, had somehow become my weakness. The cloudless blue sky is so beautiful, but when I look at it, I feel like crying. But it's wonderful to be alive, and I don't hate that doctor with the badly made-up smile. Really. I talked about many things, as if I were in a fever. Oops, it's getting late. I'm sorry, Shiki. I have some business to attend to, so let's end our conversation here. The woman walks away. I was sad to think I would be alone again. I'll see you back here tomorrow, okay? You should go back to your room and do exactly as the doctor says. Oh. The woman left as if that were the norm. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we can talk again like today. I'm happy. For the first time since I woke up from the accident, I felt human-like emotions again. In the afternoon, going to the field became a daily routine. The woman gets upset when I call her Aoko. They don't like their own name. After much deliberation, I decided to call her Sensei because she seemed like an important person. Yeah, every time they use he, I'm just gonna, and I know it's a female character, I'm just gonna be like, okay, obviously they meant she. The teacher listens seriously to whatever I have to say and solves my problems in a few words. After the accident, I had become uncomfortable talking to people, but thanks to my teacher, I was gradually able to get back to my normal self. It was only when I was in this field that my anxiety disappeared, that I was my original self. So I don't know who she is, but maybe the teacher really is a teacher at some school. But that's a what if that has nothing to do with me. I enjoy being with my teachers. The important thing is that it's simple. Hey teacher, I can do something like this. I wanted to surprise her a little, so I used the knife I took from the hospital to cut down a tree in the field. I traced that scribble-like line and cut out half of it from the middle, like ripping a piece of paper. It's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? I can easily cut anywhere where I can see the lines. I'm just going to substitute lines for rakugaki, because I suppose that's supposed to more or less say lines. No one else can do that. The teacher was surprised. I got really good at it, and this time I put my knife into the base of the tree, in a straight horizontal line. Shiki! The teacher ran up to me and slapped me on the cheek with her hand. Teacher? Stop it. You've just done a very rash thing. The teacher looks at me with serious eyes. An unrelenting eye, an unshakable eye that punishes the wrongdoers. Oh, what a fool I was. I've been enjoying this time too much. I had forgotten who I was. I knew that this line should not be there, and that I was a person who should not be alive to see it. A bloody regret that stung my heart. I felt like dying at my own stupidity. The tree, the only one left, was a record of the time when this field was a forest. I wanted my teacher to praise me, so I broke it for no reason. I'm sorry. I found myself shedding tears. Even though he knew that crying was cowardly and unmanly, he couldn't stop himself from regretting it. Shiki. A feeling of softness. The teacher, of course, hugged someone like me, who was still holding the knife. You don't have to apologize. Yeah, well, you did something that you should be angry about, but that doesn't mean it's your fault. I'm not the only one with bad... Yes, but you know what, Shiki? If someone doesn't scold you now, it will be irreversible. That's why I saw you as a human being. As a person in the same position, I gave my opinion, got angry, and really hit him. If I hadn't used the right amount of force, I might have killed Shiki too. Those words were really scary. It wasn't what if I could have been killed. It was that I was too sad to let this person do that to me. Don't cry, Shiki. I won't apologize either. I want you to remember that you've done so much for me. Yeah. In return, Shiki can hate me if he wants to. No, I don't hate you. Yeah, I'm really glad. It's like this is why I met you. And so on. Quietly, as if to dissolve my regret, the teacher asked me about the graffiti I was looking at. When I told her about the lines I could see, she put more strength into her arms to hug me. Shiki, what you're seeing is real. Even if it's something you're not supposed to see. Even if it's impossible for other humans. The line is not an illusion. It's a reality that belongs only to you. I see. And then I guess I'm the only one who's crazy. Yeah, you're crazy. You can't fool me there. I fought back the tears that were threatening to fall. The words hurt many times more than when the doctor said he didn't believe me, and I felt like I was going to break. But that's what I knew. From the very beginning, from the moment I woke up, I have always known that I was a child who should not be there. Don't be hasty. That anomaly is just strange, not unexplainable. People can go for anything that makes sense. Well, this is my rule of thumb. No matter how ridiculous the bullshit that comes our way, we humans have the wisdom and courage to get through it. Lesson number 1, said the teacher, a little embarrassed. Even if there is an abnormal object, it is not a problem in itself. The question is, how do we deal with it? So you can explain this graffiti too? Of course, all things have their fragile parts. One day we will all be broken, and because we are broken, we are not perfect. Your eyes see the end of such things, or in other words, they see the future. You're looking at the future, aren't you? That's right. You don't need to know any more than that right now. If there comes a time when you go along with such a trend, you will inevitably learn to reason accordingly. Teacher, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, don't get it. There's only one thing that matters now. That line should never be cut unnecessarily. Because your eyes make the lives of things too light. Yes, I won't do it if teacher says so. Essentially, she's trying to say, don't cut the lines. Don't take your powers for granted, and don't use them if you don't need to. And I feel kind of sick to my chest. I'm sorry, teacher. I'll never do that again. That's good. Shiki, don't ever forget how you feel now. If you do that, you will definitely be happy. The arms that were holding me were untied. The cold but warm feeling left me. But teacher, I feel uneasy when I see this drawing. If I draw this line, it will break, right? Then everything around me could fall apart at any moment. I'll take care of that problem. And apparently, that's why I'm here. The teacher sighed exaggeratedly, and then smiled at me like the sun. Shiki, tomorrow, I'll give you a special gift. I'll get you back to your old life. The magical glasses. The next day. On the 7th day after we met, the teacher came to the field with a large trunk in her hand. Yes, if you wear this, you won't be able to see any more of those strange lines. What the teacher offered me was a pair of nondescript glasses. I don't have bad eyesight, but just put it on. I don't have a degree. I have no idea what that was supposed to mean. I mean, maybe she said, I don't have a prescription for it. I don't know. The teacher forced me to put my glasses on. Sharp pain that is almost numbing. Oh my god, that's great. That's great, teacher. I can't even see the lines. Of course, it's a good idea to have a good idea of what you're doing. That sounds redundant. I guess maybe it's good to have a good idea of what you're doing. I'm not going to let you get away with it if you treat it badly, Shiki. Yeah, I'll take care of it, but you're a great teacher. All those lines that I didn't like so much are gone. It's like magic. That's just as well, because I'm a wizard. Or a sorcerer. Smiling triumphantly, the teacher placed the trunk on the ground. But Shiki, that line hasn't disappeared. It's just invisible. If you take off those glasses, the line will be visible again. Invisible, that's all? Yes, there's nothing you can do to fix it. You just have to live with it somehow. Oh no, I don't want these scary eyes. If I cut that line again, I won't be able to keep my promise to teacher. Oh, that thing about never cutting the line again. You're so stupid. You can feel free to break a promise like that. Is that so? I told you it was a very bad idea. Yeah, it's wrong. But that eye doesn't depend on anyone. It's your personal power. So it's up to you to try to use it. No one but you can blame you for having that eye. The only thing that can be questioned is what you have done with your power, Shiki. I'll do what? The teacher looked straight into my eyes as if she was looking into mine. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it's still a good eye. I'll be honest, when I met you for the first time, I thought I'd bumped into a pain in the ass, because from the looks of you, it seems like you've lost a lot of things. But there was no problem. You're alive and well, then spend your life trying to get it back. I will never be able to put into words the light in my heart and the joy that welled up in my eyes at this moment. She said, "You can stay here." She affirmed me more forcefully than anyone else. Shiki, you have a very unique set of personal abilities, but the fact that you have it means that it has some kind of meaning. God doesn't share his power for no reason. There is a time in your future when you will need it, so you can say that you have that direct eye of death. That would be cruel, but that's why you have to remember, you have a very straightforward mind. As long as you are here now, your eyes will never produce the wrong result. I'm not going to tell you to be a saint, just be the adult you think is right. If you can accept that something is wrong and you say you're sorry, you'll be a wonderful boy in 10 years. The teacher stood up and reached into her trunk. But you can't take off your glasses unless you're really sure. A special power calls for a special power. Yes, my advice to that. Think carefully about where to play the foul and where to win. I hope it doesn't come to that, but only take off your glasses when you decide it's out of your hands. Think carefully and use your power. The power itself is not a bad thing. It's up to you to decide whether the outcome will be good or bad. The trunk lifts up. The teacher didn't say anything, though. I knew that this was goodbye. I can't do it, teacher. I can't make it good by myself. I was really scared until I met my teacher, but because of you, I was able to be me again. It's no good. If I don't have a teacher, you can't have these glasses. Shiki, don't say anything you don't mean. Lies that you can't even fool yourself with will make your listeners uncomfortable. The teacher raised her eyebrows in a grimace and flicked her finger at my forehead. You know what you're doing, don't you? You know you're okay. Then don't throw away what you've got by saying such trivial things. I'll see you later. Bye, Shiki. Life is full of pitfalls for any human being. You have the power to do something about it, so be more shrewd. The teacher is going. I was very sad, but since I was her friend, I decided to send her off. Yeah. Goodbye, teacher. Good. Keep up the good work and stay healthy. Final lesson. In a pinch, first stay calm, then think carefully. Don't worry, you'll be fine on your own. The teacher smiled happily. A gust of wind blew. The grasses all wavered at once. The teacher was no longer there. She just literally disappeared. Goodbye, teacher. I was able to say and realize that I wouldn't see her again. All that was left was a lot of words in these strange glasses. It was only 7 days, but it taught me the most important thing of all. As I stood there in a daze, tears welled up in my eyes. Oh, what a fool I am. All I did was say goodbye. I hadn't said a word of thank you to that person. And back to the creepy hospital we go. I was discharged from the hospital shortly thereafter. After I was released from the hospital, I was sent to another home instead of Tono's. Although my body had recovered, I was still suffering from the after effects of the accident, and I had become an unwanted child to the Tono family. It's okay though. Tono Shiki can do fine on his own. Yeah, it seems like they get the genders wrong in this translation in some instances. A new life with a new family. The Arima family, which we all know next to nothing about, really. I leave the hospital room where I spent the summer of my 10th year. The curtains were still flickering. I squinted once at the too blue sky. A dry breeze announced the end of summer.